Hi, this is Brunch with Brian. Yes, your daily home investing live stream, teaching you all about real estate investing and the mindset you have to be successful. So today we are going to talk about the fact that you can't win them all. And sometimes that's kind of frustrating in real estate investing. Some jobs and some situations, you get a rhythm going and, you're pretty successful. Like you're in your regular job, it might go pretty smoothly most of the time. In real estate investing, you're going to lose a lot more often than you win. And so that can actually be kind of frustrating, especially when it looks like you've got to win and then somehow you lose the deal at the end. And that's very frustrating. So if you're competitive, I am kind of a competitive, not kind of, I am a competitive person. I was a competitive kid, and that kind of sticks with you. And so, how does that play into your real estate investing, and how should you think so that you don't get frustrated? I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to give you some really great tips on that. It's World Crayon Day. Oh, is that nice? And Manatee Appreciation. I once swam with a manatee down in the Florida Keys once. I'll show you that video sometime. It's amazing. And it was just swimming off our dock. And it was in the middle of winter, and I went in. We were vacationing there. And I got in the water without a wetsuit. It was freezing. But it was really cool because I spent some time with the manatees. So that was really neat. The Matrix came out this day in 1999. So that was kind of that was a really significant movie for me. I love that movie, and it kind of changed the way action movies are made. So that was really significant. 1999, hard to believe. And the Eiffel Tower, it's Eiffel Tower Day. Eiffel Tower opened today. We once sent about 50 postcards from the Eiffel Tower. We went there and we bought all the postcards and we sent them from there so the postmark would say Eiffel Tower on it. So that was kind of neat. So when we visited Paris. So that's all great. It's Cesar Chavez's birthday today. That's cool. And so lots of great things happening today. Now let's talk about can't win them all. I tried to come up with a good joke on the Matrix because I like to tell you guys a joke once in a while. Get you smiling and laughing, breathing right. So let's do that. But there wasn't a lot of good jokes. What do you use to fix a cut in the Matrix? Neosporin. Okay, that's about as good as they got, so not that great. All right, so guys, let's do our breathing while we're sort of smiling. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. With a big smile, hold it a little bit, and then let it out. And relax your neck and your shoulders. Another one, deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it out. And we're going to do one more. This is energizing. Really deep on that one. Hold it in. That energizes you. And get that smile. That smile is just as important as the deep breathing. So the smile is crucial too. So talking about you can't win them all. So in real estate investing, in fact, let's say you get 20 leads. How many leads do we want you to get per month? How many sellers, pretty house sellers, creative financing sellers do we want you to talk to per month? 20 to 50. So if you talk to 50 creative financing potential leads, pretty house deals, how many of those are you going to win? Hey, if you win one or two, you're doing great. So that means you're going to lose out on 48 or 49 of them. Okay, and that's okay. That's the great thing about real estate investing is that you can lose a lot more than you win. It's like baseball, the batters go up there, they don't get on base a lot more often than they get on base. So you just want to do your best percentage-wise. That's why I always talk about how real estate is a numbers game, how you have to have enough numbers so that even with a low percentage of conversion, of winning, you can do very, very well. And so who's competitive like me? Are you competitive like me? A little bit competitive? Growing up, I played sports and I watched sports. I was a big Vikings fan. They kept going to the Super Bowl every year. and like 4 times throughout my youth. And so I was a big Twins fan too, Minnesota Twins. I used to cut out all the standings and save the standings every day out of the newspaper for a whole year. And on Sunday, it was an orange newspaper in the sports section for some reason back then. I won't tell you what decade that was, but I'd listen to them on my transistor radio at night. So I was competitive. I was a good fan, and I was played a lot of sports. Played tennis and baseball in high school, and so I've always been a pretty competitive person. Now, then when it got into my jobs, is this the same for you? Have you had jobs where you want to do well? Now, a lot of organizations, it's not really set up competitive. You're doing a job that other people are doing, or maybe you're doing the job, you're fulfilling that role for the company, and you're the only one doing it. There's always some kind of competitive nature in every company. To some degree, but in a sales company, it's really, I don't want to say exacerbated, but promoted almost to have competition. And that's why they give sales prizes in that. So that trophy over there was when I was working for a mortgage company. So, I won some trophies and I would be number one. When I worked for AmeriQuest, I went to work there, and nobody in the Phoenix office had ever been in the top 100. In my 6th month, I was number one in the entire company. And I brought the office to number one. And the office had never been in the top 50 offices. So that was, if I hadn't had that competitive nature, that never was going to happen. But that's a two-way street. You can be competitive. Competitive can actually be, you can be competitive to a fault, they say. So you have to put it, you don't want to flip over Monopoly boards. Okay, that's not right. But you want to, be applied to your craft and try to do your best. And it really pays off in certain situations, like for instance, I'm really competitive to make better real estate investing systems. I'm constantly thinking, what can I do to improve our systems to make them better and to make them better than they were before? How can I improve them? And so one recent thing we did was we added this preloaded script tablet. That's been really a revolution in the product, because people are using this to actually make their calls in real time and following all the prompts. And if there's an objection that comes up, they're all lined up and you just press it and the answer pops up. And students are bringing them to the deal meetings and using them, sitting there right there having their deal meeting script on it, and it looks like a big phone or a tablet, so people carry stuff like that, and you can even pretend to be taking notes on it and actually be reading your scripts off of it. So that's a revolution. So if I wasn't competitive and always wanting to do better and bring you guys better and better systems to be successful, because I want you to win. I want you to be successful. I want our students to be the most successful, ours and Ron's. And so that's why we created that system with Ron. That what to say and what to do system is created and to help you guys win, to help you guys get these deals. But how many do you have to have again? Remember, you're going to lose a lot. And so that can get frustrating, and that's a part of the business you kind of have to accept. And you're going to lose out every once in a while. You might get your heart broken. You might be really close to having a big deal and it falls apart at the end. Of course, the more deals you do, the more potential for that to happen is going to occur. However, if you're not doing anything, then you're not getting anything either. So you have to, you have to get in the game. That's exactly the right thought. You want to get in the game, but then just remember that phrase: you can't win them all. But you got to get in the game, otherwise you can't win any, right? If yes, you can't win them all, but you don't have to win them all. You only have to win 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 50, and you're going to do great. So again, that's the nature of this business, and it takes a while to get used to. If you have a regular job where, if you're going out, I don't know what job, but if you're going out and helping a customer or something, usually you're going to solve the problem or whatever, and the customer's going to be happy and it's going to be a win, right? But in this real estate investing, there's times when you're going to go out to a customer's house for a deal meeting and you won't win, and for some reason they won't sign and it doesn't go through. So you got to learn to accept that and just smile and say, can't win them all, but I love being in the game. I love being in the game because that's how I'm going to win. Okay? So let's say that. I love being in the game. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I love being in the game. I love affirmations. So let's go. I love being in the game. 1, 2, 3. I love being in the game. So again, now some of you guys haven't even got your first deal yet, but you're in the game now. And so if you're calling, now I will say you're not in the game if you're not calling people. If you're just sitting and still setting up your systems and color coding your files, you're not in the game yet. Once you start making calls and once you start getting leads flowing through your organization and you're processing these leads, doing the opening call, closing calls, and deal meetings in every possible deal, and handling them professionally by following the scripts, follow the opening call scripts, the FSBO script, the closing call scripts, and the deal meeting scripts. And remember, that those are recent. I just recently updated the whole deal meeting section, including exactly what you say when you're going through the scripts. I want you guys to win. And there's some really crucial lines that you have to say at that deal meeting. They're in the deal meeting. I created a new deal meeting guide. That's that green guide. It's like a packet that's got all that information. So you should have that, and you should have the preloaded script tablet that has all the new deal meeting in there too. So be competitive up to a certain point, guys. When if you miss out on a deal, if you lose out on a deal, you're gonna be frustrated if you're competitive, and you're maybe even mad, like, why did they pick that way to go? Maybe they list with an agent and you think, darn, why did that agent get that deal? And it's just, the decision they made, because you can't win them all. And you can't even explain why they do it sometimes. It makes no sense. Like your way would definitely work better in the long run. And so you can't always even know why you lost. But you got to take what you can, what lessons you can. I do want you to at least, this is maybe one of my most important points here, is I want you to review your losses. Okay, can be painful. It's like when a football team loses and they talk about watching the tape. Nobody wants to watch the tape because they lost. And so, but you have to be able to review a loss so that you can grow and win the next time. So look at what you did, say, okay, I didn't follow the script and I said that stupid thing, and then right when I said that opened up that can of worms, and that's where the deal went south. So I'm never going to say that again. I'm always going to focus on this. And when I'm signing the agreement, I'm going to say what Brian always says, and here's where you okay the agreement. And you're going to follow the scripts. And really, that's one of the things you're going to come back to is why you lost the deal, is because you're going to find that it's a lot of times is you got off the scripts and said something wrong. And so follow the scripts, guys, and use your competitiveness. If you're competitive like me, use your competitiveness for the good and for your own success. So when you lose out on a deal, vow that you're going to win the next one. Improve yourself. Keep improving yourself. We have awesome training to improve yourself, guys. We were in a softball league in LA. Lynette and me, it was a co-ed softball league. And we joined this league, and I suddenly got foisted into the role of pitcher. I wasn't planning on pitching. I was going to play shortstop. But all of a sudden, because the woman who was going to pitch kind of chickened out right before the first pitch, the umpire calls play ball, and she walks out to me and says, here, can you pitch? And I hadn't even warmed up. So I started pitching. So I was okay, but then, and we had a pretty good team, but then we lost a couple of games because I had walked a couple people. So I said, I hate losing, and competitive people hate losing. So I went and I practiced a different grip. And I taught myself how to pitch, how to be a good softball pitcher. It only took me a week. And I came back the next week and I was like a whole different pitcher. And we won all the rest of our games and we won the league. So you can lose the battle and win the war. We ended up going 8-2. The 2 games that we lost were the games where I walked people, where I determined, hey, we're going to keep losing if I don't learn how to pitch, And so, so I had pitched in baseball actually, but softball pitching is a whole different thing. So if if things are not going your way and you're not winning every one, and you're never going to win every one, but if you're losing ones you feel like you should win, that's when you got to review what happened and try to take notes and say, here's where I feel like I lost that, and that's not going to happen again. And so that's really key to winning in the long term. Losing the battle, but winning the war. So that's a lot of positive stuff today, guys, and a lot of great stuff for you competitive folks and the right way to think to be successful in real estate. So it's Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday's Live with the Wolves. We have that awesome Taking Action virtual live workshop coming up on April 10th. So don't forget about that. You got to be there for that. Call and reserve your spot with Dashel. That's 480-789-3649. You can text them or call them and reserve your spot. So we'll see you there, and we'll see you right back here every morning on Brunch with Brian. Until next time, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking action.